So, Carrie, 2013, that's what we'll be talking about today on Horror and Heels. I'm Alicia.
I'm Jen.
If you didn't know that, go back, listen to some other episodes. Because unlike Matt and Drew on the post-credit podcast, Jen and I sound nothing alike.
No,
I
not
am
at all.
rocking the New York accent at a level that is pretty unprecedented. Um, our dear friends over at the Midnight Train podcast, just so you know, that town 15 miles north of Gilgo Beach that you were trying so adorably to pronounce is Hopog. Hopog, my boys, Hopog. There you go. Next time you need help, you call your Long Island girls. She will assist you. I thought they did a nice job recapping a lot of the Long Island serial killer information. They didn't go down quite the rabbit hole that is our police department's corruption, so they saved themselves there. And but good for them. It was good. How did you feel about the remake? 2013, Julianne Moore,
Ugh,
Chloe Grace Moretz,
so many mixed feelings. I mean, the acting was great.
directed by Kimberly
Yeah,
Pierce.
and you could tell
Story
that
of
it was
perspective.
a woman. It was a
Yeah,
woman's
you could
perspective.
tell. You could
hmm
tell.
It didn't open with the boobs in the shower. It opened with the
Hey,
birth.
no boobs, no boobs in this one. No
Right.
dirty pillows, as Mama White would have said. No bush, no bush.
No, no. It opened with, and
I
in
mean,
fact,
it's 2013, so there probably wouldn't have been any
right.
anyway, unless somebody was real lazy that week.
uh, in
Talking for
fact, it's such a woman's perspective that it opens with the birth. It shows her
well,
giving
I
birth. It was,
like that because it really showed.
oh yeah, it wasn't a bad thing.
How,
I'm just saying
yeah,
it's such a different perspective from a
perspective.
man
Yeah,
directing versus a woman directing. She's like, let's get into the birth and how she felt about her daughter when she was
daughter.
born. That was rough though. I had to mute it because I was like, I don't want to hear
Right.
her labor screams. That was rough. And then her picking up the
Then
knife
just have a
or the
C-section. It's
scissors.
glorious. Well, here's my thing. The second thing that I really loved about that is this shows how much Mrs. White is disconnected from any
Oh,
community. She
talk
has
about a
no
home birth.
yeah, that is not like
Oh,
whew. I mean, your birth like home births are in the home birthing community lauded. Now listen, I'm not doing anything where I don't have immediate
I
access
needed
to drugs,
drugs.
but I don't judge anybody
Right.
who wants to go the other
Women
route.
have done it for years.
One of the reasons it's lauded though and touted as this great thing is because you're allowed to have your whole community with you if you so choose to let your whole community see your lady bits and pieces
Your hoo-ha.
being ripped apart by a child.
And
God
who
bless.
doesn't want friends around for that?
Who doesn't? Exactly. But if that's the lifestyle you're living, God bless. This poor woman didn't have a friend, didn't have a midwife,
She didn't
didn't
have
have
an
a
aspirin.
doula. She didn't have an aspirin. She had nothing but scissors and herself.
Oh, I
Oh,
can't.
God.
That to me was the most horrific part of it. I was like, now that's a horror movie.
But this even shows you how cut off she is
Yeah.
from any mainstream religion
Oh yeah.
because I mean, you grew up in a religious community. You would say your church community is very um connected. You would
Oh
be
oh
able to call on members of your community
oh yeah
in
yeah. We're
time
not
of
yeah we're
crisis,
not like
right?
yeah.
So this really goes to the core of Margaret White is a fringe religious nut. She
Fanatic.
yeah, like
Fanatic.
heck, even those freaks in Scientology can get some friends
Yeah
around them.
right. You could call somebody.
I mean, listen,
Yeah.
you
I
know, like I just she is on the fringe of every part of society. What I really hated, the house looked too good. And I
you wanted
know
to
that's
burn
a
down.
weird thing, but I did like how the house in the first movie looked very separated from town. You could see how maybe other people in town, I mean, because in the book, they do talk about how Mrs. White had fought with the neighbors about her daughter seeing their daughter sunbathe outside, topless. Um,
Having
and
them
that
dirty
day was
pillows.
the day of the rock storm that Carrie rains down when her mother is beating her very severely after that. And I feel like that kind of house portrayal shows that better than this super adorable house. By the way,
It
adorable. What
was
that would go for in this market.
right.
Um, and now let's talk about Chloe. Too fucking pretty for this shit.
I was like, they're trying to
85.
make. I mean, they did a decent job for working with Chloe. I mean,
No.
I'm
First
just
of
saying they
all,
did the best you could with her.
right. I agree. Her hair still looked too good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could tell. Like, one straight iron, you're gonna look fantastic.
Yeah,
The only thing was she did have the frumpy clothes. That did help.
the farm, like straight up farmer overalls and everything.
Yeah. But still, not very atrocious. Not atrocious.
No.
No acne. You're right. She was. So I went back. I read some Carrie snippets. She was described as fat with acne, etc. Because remember, I told you I couldn't remember.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you were correct.
yeah. She had no actual problems.
I liked that in this one, Sue Snell stopped before the teacher even came in. She's like,
Yeah, she was
wait,
like, "Wait, what am I
I don't
missing?"
think she knows what's going on. Like, she realized pretty quickly, even though the other girls didn't. Like,
Yeah.
and I like that because that showed better the core of her character. And she even
Mhm.
goes up
Mhm.
to the teacher and says, Miss Hurgison, I, I, I,
I don't
I
think
don't think
she's.
she knows. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think she knows this is happening. Um, and I did like in this one, she is saying, it hurts so bad.
Yeah.
It hurts so bad. What is happening? Because you and I talked about this the last time. Periods are not a gentle thing.
No.
Get yourself some Tylenol anytime you feel that coming into town because you're going to need it. Judy Greer.
And I know you don't. I love Judy. I was so happy when I saw her. I know you're not a fan.
The first movie I've ever liked Judy Greer in.
This one?
Yes. See, here's the
Wow.
thing. I don't. Oh no, I take that back. Did you watch it with us, Cursed the
Yeah, that
Vampire?
was my movie. Yep.
That was the only other one. I don't dislike Judy Greer. I feel that poor Judy Greer gets cast in the same dislikable roles over and
She does.
over
She is
and over.
typecast.
She
She's
is
typecast.
typecast.
But
She was good in this.
I still see her like just love her as an because she works with what she gets. Like she's typecast, but she still is
Oh no,
believable.
I understand that. I'm just saying I never
Yeah.
we're in a
You
real
never liked
trip.
her characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This time I was here for it. 2013, we're still hitting people, although this time she apologized.
She did. Yeah, because the
Uh,
first one didn't give a damn. She hit her and kept moving.
Kept moving. This one, she was like, "I'm sorry,
I'm
Carrie."
sorry. She's like, I
That
could have handled that better.
yeah. But honestly, maybe you couldn't have. I'm not condoning violence, but
But
sometimes
she was hysterical.
the poor thing was hysterical. Sometimes there's nothing else you can really do. And this is from a woman. I'm speaking from experience. My mother was bipolar. I've dealt with hysteria. Sometimes there's nothing else you can do but snap them back.
And I was thinking about that because I was like, it's interesting that they kept that in for the remake.
Right.
Because I was like, that's such a small thing that they didn't really have to have her do that. But I
But
think
it's
it
a
was
big
important to show how hysterical she was. And it's
right.
like, she had no other choice. She had to just snap her back into back into what was going on.
God bless this principal.
Oh,
Only took him what I liked, it only took he got the name after
yeah,
he was corrected once.
yeah.
And what I liked about this is they were being he was trying. Like
He
he was being,
was.
and
He was
she
so
didn't act
uncomfortable.
right. But at least her upsetness wasn't with them.
It was, yeah.
It was where it needed to be placed. And she was like, no, please don't tell my
It was
mother.
like,
Like,
I don't need my mom in this. Like,
yeah.
it's just gonna make my life worse.
And he does note that he's sorry that he has to do it because he knows he's like, I'm sorry, Carrie. I know we've had so many problems with her when you couldn't continue being homeschooled.
Yeah.
Like, it goes back to people
Yeah.
know something's
People are like aware of what's
fair.
going on, at least to
Um,
some extent. But
and
I think he played it very well. He was uncomfortable, but he wasn't like she's a weird kid or didn't care. It was just like these are women things.
right,
And
still a man who can't deal with women
he was like,
things.
I don't he was like, when did they start throwing the things?
Yeah, the
uh
items.
the items.
The items, he said. And I do like, once again, that he puts it to the gym teacher to let the punishment fit the crime. I gotta say, that water cooler, that visually, because I was like, the second we walk in and we see it there, I go, oh, 2013, can't be smoking in schools. What's going to break?
Mm-hmm.
The water cooler.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was visually done very well.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
These bitches took a fucking video.
That upgrade
Shattering phones in people's fucking hands.
that pissed me off. I was like, okay, that's where the update happens, and that's what I don't like. Freaking who does like that's even more evil than just the like that made the tampon and pad thing seem like nothing
Compared to the fact
that you're now recording it. I was just like,
yeah.
oh my gosh,
Mm-hmm.
how does that even occur to you?
Yeah.
This Chris was even more evil.
And the mom, this mom, I mean, Julianne Moore is doing it all. She is manipulative as fuck. Your daughter doesn't want to talk to you, so you're gonna bang your head against a wall.
Yeah, that I was like, oh
That
Lord.
was manipulative, unnecessary to do to your own child. Like, get it together.
Yeah. It is interesting that they had her as a tailor or owning the laundry.
Well, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Okay.
New Carrie is stronger, which I like. She is.
They show the research. They show her practicing. They show that
Well,
she's.
yeah, but I'm saying even in the beginning, she goes, "Mom, those words are not in."
Oh yeah. I liked that when she said, "Mom,
Yeah,
that's the Bible doesn't even say that." She's like, "I read it. It doesn't say that."
yeah, she's like quoting like real scripture because which I liked about this, and once again, you didn't read the book. In the book, Carrie does have not as extremes, but similar religious views about sin, God, and Jesus coming. She does have similar views. They're not as extreme or hurtful as her mother's, but they are similar. You even hear the kids say it like, "Oh, Carrie gets to tell us that we're gonna die for our sins," blah 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 blah, stuff like that. So, once again, wasted pantry space. You're not doing enough cooking. Just not doing enough.
I don't think she's into cooking very much. She's into sewing and punishing and cutting.
Yeah, at least, and you're right. I like that in this one she had a job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it also showed why Carrie was able to make her. I know we're skipping ahead, but that it comes back into play where you're like, oh, okay, it would make sense. Yeah.
Yes. Little girl is first of all creepy, and it is one of the main forms of parental infantilization. To keep your child tethered and needing you is to infantilize what you call them.
Well, it's also distancing her. It's like it's some little girl. It's not my daughter, not baby, not precious. It's not something endearing. It's little girl. It's like something that you say to a strange kid that you find, oh, hi, little girl. Like, who are you?
Yeah.
It's not, I know you in your mind.
Right.
It's you're just some little girl off the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time she said it, I was like, ugh.
By the way, I love new Tommy Ross. Yeah.
I had to look up because I knew he looked familiar. He's from Baby Driver.
Yep. Yes, that is him.
He is great. I love him. I think he played the role well.
I love that him and Sue are just talking about it, and he lets her know the bad thing he did.
Mm-hmm.
To let her know, like, okay, everybody's done bad things. He's like, but you need to apologize. And she goes, well, did you apologize to him? And he goes, that kid bullied me for 6 years straight. What did Carrie White ever do to you? And I think that's the real moment.
Yeah.
The real moment for Sue where she's like,
Ah.
if my peer, forget
Not
boyfriend,
just
forget anything, is saying, I've done bad things, everybody does bad things, but you need to make it right. I think that's like the moment it really clicks for her.
yeah.
Um,
And the actress does a good job of showing that she's hesitant from the beginning. It
yeah,
wasn't just like, oh, a
just
180 where it's like, oh, I was fine with it and now I'm not. It was like, no, you could see
she
in the
knew
locker
she was
room.
wrong with it, and now somebody, I think she needs somebody else who she viewed as on her level as far as, because
Yeah.
the teacher had already said it was wrong. You need somebody else on your level. Once he confirmed her feelings that this was wrong, she was able to then move forward with all her other plans, telling Chris she's wrong, asking
Yeah.
Tommy to take Carrie to the prom, and I really liked it. Um, I we did miss her telling Chris on the football field to just shut the fuck up. I mean, Chris, I mean, at least
I
this
can't,
dingus.
and her yelling,
The
we didn't
teacher
do
to
anything
shut the fuck up. I
right.
mean, that's ballsy.
And then she was saying, we didn't do anything wrong. Really? You
Yeah,
don't think you did anything wrong?
that to me was the biggest.
Like, what kind of world do you live in where what you did?
Well, the world she lives in,
I
we
mean,
see, because rich, powerful daddykins comes and tries to. Now, here's the thing, dumbasses of the world. Let me break it down for you. If you are going to take incriminating video of yourself doing something stupid, and then you're going to post said incriminating video of you doing something horrible, delete
delete
the
it
evidence
immediately.
immediately, and you know she's guilty of sin the second she won't turn over her phone.
Right, right.
And even her dad does.
I was gonna say it, like the even he was like he actually legit didn't think that she did it, and that's where I'm like,
Right,
because he was like, just give him the phone.
right.
He legit doesn't know that his daughter is a
It's this
crappy
off.
person.
Right.
So it's like
Yeah.
there's a disconnect. I understand that he's not a great person in
Right.
general, like that's the vibe,
Right.
but he still genuinely thought that his daughter was innocent. So
See,
there's
yeah.
something, she's
Sure.
off. She's
Yes.
way off because
Right.
he thought there's no way my daughter would do something like that. So
Yeah.
she's
There's still a disconnect.
mhm.
Um.
Her Billy was so much more aggressive than John Travolta.
True. 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 We'll get to that. Can we just talk about the nerdy but nice guy at in the study hall?
I thought that was going to be a thing. I thought they were going to bring a new
I
cat.
thought what I thought actually would have been great is if Tommy doesn't bring her to the prom,
That's what I
if
kind of
that
thought.
kid brings her to the prom. If actually Sue said to Tommy, I'd like you to do this, and Tommy's like, well, actually, I
This
was
guy.
talking to this kid who, and we if there had just been like a random shot of him also in the classroom after Carrie does her poem and Tommy sticks up for her.
Like after she looks at Tommy, then this boy looks at her.
No, then this boy looks at Tommy, right? So
Yeah.
like him and Tom, and then you see a scene where he's like, "Hey, Tommy, so you stood up for Carrie. Like, do you talk to her? Do you guys know each other?"
Like trying
And
to get,
Tommy could be
yeah.
like, "Oh, not really." And then when Sue suggests it, Tommy be like, "Well, actually, I think there's this guy who might actually be interested in Carrie."
Yeah.
I think that could have been an interesting,
That would have added another layer to it.
another layer. That,
Yeah.
but she spares him, and well, we'll get to that scene. But he gets
Yeah.
spared because he gave her kindness. I love. Well, yeah,
We'll get there. We'll get there.
spared. We'll get there. I just love Tommy calling that teacher an asshole. Why would
Oh, he did
a teacher
such.
like that?
I was and him. They made him super creepy because you could see him giving eyes to the girl student. I was like,
Yeah,
ugh. I was like,
yeah,
they're really laying on him not being a cool person. It wasn't just like, because sometimes if you do something like that, you'd be like, well, the teacher was just, he doesn't know how to be with high schoolers or whatever. But the fact that they made him oogling the student, it was like, okay, they really want us to not like this guy. He was awful. He was like, that was depressing.
Yeah.
And you haven't said anything all year. I was like, wow,
Wow.
what a jerk. And then
Well,
Tommy comes out with the asshole, and I was like, yes,
yeah.
yes, Tommy, you are correct.
I like that we see Carrie practicing. I love it.
Building. Mm-hmm.
Visually it's stunning. I like the mirror scene where she's like, "Oh wow." And then it keeps building and building
Yeah.
and building. I just think that's so good. And what I like too um is that her mom is seeing her power,
Mm-hmm.
seeing it grow, being affected by it. Carrie ain't getting in that fucking closet ever again, Margaret. Get it
Yeah.
out of sight. And to touch on Margaret, um, you see her, you talked about at the laundromat. She clearly hates people. This
Oh
Margaret
God.
does not, because she didn't want to go up front to give the dress.
Nope.
She was trying not to.
And Sue's mom was trying to be kind
These
on
are
a level.
godless. She goes, I'm very sorry, but my Sue really is a good girl. And she goes, are any of those
Them
girls
good girls.
good?
I was like, I mean, I was kind of like, I would probably feel the same way if I wouldn't have approached it that way, but I can see
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's her one like actual mama bear moment where it's like, are your girls actually good? Which Sue is good, but from
Right,
a mom standpoint, you don't know what's going on daily.
right,
All you know are these stories and what's happened. So,
right.
and then
Um,
the stabbing herself with the little
yeah.
oh
Ugh.
that actually creeped me out more than like seeing like Freddy slice up like
Well,
it's just the subtleness and the
well, there are some. Once again, I take that to be part of her fringe religion. Like, if you read the Da Vinci Code, the self-flagellation,
mm.
I took that to be a form of self-flagellation. So she was being mean to Miss
Oh.
Snell, like she
So she
did.
had to punish herself.
So
Yeah,
she
I didn't. Yeah,
herself
she was.
done it after she harmed Carrie.
Yeah, when
She
she hurt
did it
Carrie,
herself
she scratches that
as a
same
form of
spot.
self-flagellation. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering, and I was wondering if they were gonna explain that a little more because I don't. I
Billy is ridiculously aggressive.
like
Like,
so
oh,
aggressive. I kind of like the character better as her little yes man. Like I like John Travolta's version.
well, John Travolta's version is more in line with the book. This is making them seem like they have this great Bonnie and Clyde against all
Yeah.
odds type romance, and it's like, no, no,
No.
that's not what this is.
And again, looking 30, like
Yeah.
that man was not in high school.
Well, and they say that though.
Oh, do they?
She
Oh, I
said
missed that.
that. She said he doesn't go to school.
Oh, I thought she said he doesn't go to our school. I thought she just said he's not from our school.
Oh, oh, I didn't hear the word hour.
I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what I thought she said. I thought she said
Or
he's not from our school.
oh yeah, no, I did hear her say that, and I really thought that was her way of saying he's not from our school meeting. He's not in school, bitch. Like he's not in school. Like
But she did not look like he was in high school.
right. Like, oh, you don't know him. He's not from our school. Meaning never went to school. Not while you were teaching, Miss Young Judy Greer. Graduated 3 years ago, just started teaching. Like no.
Oh.
But here's the thing. Does Daddy know she's dating that?
He probably doesn't. I mean, he doesn't. He doesn't even know that she's capable of being that mean.
Her mother.
He's probably traveling all the time and doesn't even know what's going on. She's shopping somewhere.
She's shopping. Okay, good times.
Uh,
Now we're at the pig farm.
that scene was intense. I was like,
Ugh. When she just immediately guts the pig, like no questions
Well,
asked.
after the guy like hesitates, like even his Billy's friend is like, I can't do it, and then he's like, okay, babe, this is how you're gonna do it, and she's just like, ah. I'd be
Yes.
like, okay, we're gonna have to revisit this.
They're doing that to
Oh
show
yeah,
how well how crazily matched
Right.
they really are. They both have no problems
Yeah.
with these kind of things.
I get it. Like, and it's to show that there's not really that they have that craziness about them where it's like.
Now, here's my question. We now see that they go and set up this bucket of blood days before the prom. A day or two,
Yeah.
at least. Not a single maintenance guy noticed that route.
Nobody saw that?
Nobody? Okay.
Cool.
I have to say, I love. So here on Long Island, gym proms are not realistic, and probably for you in LA too, because of the size of the school. We have to have them at
Yeah,
catering.
we did them at hotels. I think
Yeah,
they're
because you
generally
need a
at
large.
hotels.
Our gyms are not large enough to contain our classes. I mean,
Yeah.
some schools I'm sure are small, but not enough.
Yeah.
I've always loved, like I loved it in Buffy. When you just see the gym transformed, I feel like that's a little bit more magical, because here's this place where you've had all these other memories with your friends,
Yeah.
playing games, having fun, and now you probably did like the stupid little college fair in town in that gymnasium.
Yeah.
You took your big class picture up on those bleachers together. Just like moments like that, and now you're having like your culmination moment there. It just always seemed, and I understand why larger schools can't do it, but for the schools that can, that always just seemed more magical to me.
That is interesting. I never thought of that. Because
Yeah.
I homeschooled, so I ended up but I went to prom with, so I played soccer with AYSO. So I knew a lot of girls that went to one of the high schools around here. So
Does
I ended
that
up,
stand for All Youth Soccer Organization?
yeah,
Oh, good. I got
and
it.
or association, something like that. But yes, that youth soccer, and so I'd grown up with these girls since fifth grade. So prom
Okay.
came around, and then one of the women from our church, her niece was in our class, and she had a friend that wanted to date. So I went as his date. So I went to prom, and I had friends, like I knew girls that were there. It was kind of cool. But we were at a hotel. All that to say, we went to a
Look at
hotel.
Jen rubbing in that she went to prom.
I'm pretty sure that I was not the prom date that he went. Like, I think I barely talked to him. I was like hanging out with like the girls.
That's fine.
I'm like,
I
aw.
I had no desire. We talked about this last time. Zero desire for prom. Um. So now, first of all, Carrie looks gorgeous.
Oh
Just
yeah.
gorgeous. Like, and I'm not saying that Sissy Spacek did not. This is on a whole other level. Like, and I think part of it is the glow up I also feel comes from the fact that we're seeing her harness her power,
Hmm.
and that
She
she
knows
is,
who she is.
yes, she's getting comfortable with who she is. I actually think she looks pretty before she walks out to see Tommy, but after she gets her mother in that fucking
That
cockpit,
we
that
gotta that.
that she's like, I'm not the devil mom. Your mom had these powers.
Yeah,
They
she's like, it was
didn't
passed down to me.
know about this. Like,
Hmm.
there are other people like me. I am fine. Like, she is owning who she is, and it's so
And
beautiful to
and
see.
that's interesting, and because to be raised in that's a hard thing to snap out of or to defy if that's how you were raised, for her
Right,
to come up with her own thoughts and her own opinions and to be like, it's
right.
not what you said, it's this.
Yep, exactly.
That takes a lot. It takes a lot.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And the crack, oh wait, yeah, and the crack that she had already put in the door.
Yeah,
Oh Lord.
getting worse. And then she, like, welds the lock
Welds the
shut.
lock. I was like,
God
oh.
bless. Turns on the holy music.
She's like, Mom, you'll stay here till I get back.
Yep. Um,
I like the little montage of Tommy like shopping for the
that was
suits.
adorable.
It
That
was
was
cute.
adorable. counter spliced with her making the dress.
Yeah.
What I really liked is when they get to prom, he helps her with the corsage. They take time. What I loved most was the friend's girlfriend
Mm-hmm.
not being from the school.
Yeah,
Because
because she doesn't have.
now her
Yeah.
being kind to Carrie is genuine.
I
Like,
thought that too. I was like,
she's like,
she
I
doesn't
love
know
you.
anything about what's
She
going on.
knows nothing. And so it's a very genuine, she's not, she's not faking it because she doesn't know. Now, she's like, oh, here's this person who came with somebody that my
My
boyfriend
boyfriend's
really
best
likes.
friend.
I'm going to show her kindness as anyone would. That's not disingenuous. You come up to my house, you have a gentleman with you. I'm going, even if I don't know him from Adam,
Yeah.
you're one of my best friends. I'm going to show this gentleman kindness.
Right.
I mean, you know. Hens, I know you're out in LA. You bring Jeremy Piven to my house. Probably not a lot of kindness. I don't know what to tell you. Although, he's ugly. But you bring me some Jason Mantzoukas.
Oh.
A lot of kindness.
And then
Probably
I'm
over
gonna
a
get all the
budget of
kindness.
kindness. He's gonna
Okay.
get all the kindness.
So
Um,
if I go to your house, I have to bring Jason Mantzoukas as a date. Okay.
I mean,
Heard.
there are other options. He's not the only option on the table. I would say he's in the
We
top.
just know that he's in
He's
the
in the
top two.
top two.
Top two.
Options.
But that it's interesting because you and I talked about that last week. We said how we weren't sure if they were being genuine or not. And then it's like
Right.
Kimberly Pierce, the director of this one, recognized that as a thing. And she's like, I want people to know that this was a genuine moment.
Right.
She's actually being accepted by people and it's not
Right.
just a
Right.
fake thing.
Yeah. I thought that was so beautiful. Tommy, I mean, Jesus Christ, if you don't want to raise a son like that, that's what I come to be.
He was so adorable. Just how he was like, whatever you want. He was like, we can take your time. He was like, we
Yeah.
don't have to rush in there. And
I
even
love
though,
that he's texting Sue, letting
oh
her
yeah,
know,
letting
like,
her know she's okay.
things are going well. I'm
I
still
know
thinking of you as well.
40-year-old men that wouldn't handle that situation
Right.
that
So,
well.
I love when he tries to joke with
With the
Mrs.
teacher?
He's like, I heard so and so spiked it. And she's like,
Really?
really? I'm still a teacher. Now, see, I would have been like, I see, this is why I cannot. We've already decided as a group, I'm probably not ever going to be allowed to chaperone a prom because I'd be like, my son would be like, my mom said you're spiking the drink wrong.
I was going to say, they'd be like, I spiked it. Sorry.
Sorry. I was afraid the kids would bring cheap liquor. We can't have that.
If you're going to drink, I'd rather you do it at home.
Yeah, seriously. I have to say that, like, not that my father encouraged drinking, but he never made it seem so taboo. So, like, when I was in college, I was just fine. Like, I never overindulged.
Yeah.
Whereas my roommate, whom had some issues, because her parents were very strict, overindulged almost nightly.
Oh, wow.
So that was always interesting. I say, while don't encourage drinking in a minor, encourage them to want to trust you enough that if you find out they have a beverage or two as a minor, they're not going
to hide it from me. I don't want my kids hiding anything from me. Like,
right, exactly.
Talk to me. Let's figure this out.
Right, exactly. So I love how they kept in, like, to hell with false modesty, like,
yeah, that whole, because I thought that was cute in the first one. I liked that whole scene of him telling her, like, let's go for ourselves.
Like,
and he was so genuinely a friend to her, like,
oh, so if we win, we go up there, they give us these stupid things, and then
even though Sue made him, quote unquote, made him do it, he still was genuine about it. Like, when he did it, it was
he was genuine from day one. That's what I think I liked more about this version of Tommy is you really see him. He's genuine when he's talking to Snow.
Yeah.
What did Carrie ever do to you? Make this right. Be a
Yeah.
genuine person back. He's genuine when he's calling that teacher an asshole. He's an
Yeah.
asshole. And he said it loud. The teacher heard it. Not like in the first
I
movie
said
where
awesome.
he mumbles it. No, I said awesome. We all know what you said. You know what I mean? Like that teacher.
And him telling her, like, Sue, he's like, I want you to have that magical, like, they're
Right.
just, ugh, I can't. I was like, damn it. They're
I
so
know.
like, I
And not that I
can't.
thought the first Sue and Tommy were bad. This Tommy just takes it to another level.
Mm.
But I will say, I have noticed this about the Gen X generation, which he would fall into. For the most part, it's very weird that this is I don't think in a Gen X high school, I don't think what would have what happened would happen these days. Somebody would have shut them down. One of the other kids would have shut them down before the teachers got there. When I talk to Gen Xers these days, and I've been doing a lot of them this week because of prom and stuff, empathy seems to be their currency. They understand different sexual orientations in a much more wider, broader spectrum. They understand differences. They
Backgrounds.
They just don't seem to be cruel. And I'm not saying cruelness doesn't happen. I'm saying that it doesn't seem like bullying and stuff is continuing. It
wouldn't fly the same way that it did back then.
But it seems to be a much more one-on-one or private thing as opposed to a group thing. I don't think group mindset is a thing with Gen Xers.
Right.
Right. I'm sorry, Gen Zers. I kept saying Gen Xers.
Yeah, okay. I was wondering.
I meant Gen Z. Who's after millennial? Gen Z?
I don't know. I'm done keeping
Who's
up
ever
with
after millennials?
whoever them people are, I don't know.
The new kids, the new teenagers. They seem to be working more in a currency of, and you see it even more now in the movies that are marketed to them. The Love Simons, the Dear Evan Hansen movies, things like that. Kindness is being, marketed towards them in a very beautiful way.
Yeah.
And you see that definitely portrayed most beautifully in Tommy's character. Like when the blood falls, he's like,
"Oh,
what the fuck?" Like, he's like,
what? He's
upset. He's like, no, Carrie. Like he tries to run after her, gets taken out by the bucket.
I hate that he dies like that. Ugh.
Such a horrible way to die. But what I loved is Carrie still knew he was on her team.
Right. She never thought that he was.
She never thought. And even this time, she does stop the teacher, but she doesn't kill her. She just
I noticed that. Yeah, I liked that.
Takes her and gets her out of the way, basically.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna drop her. They made it look like she was gonna drop her into the water and the electricity, and she moves her to the stage. And I was like, oh, thank God.
Yes. And you see it, like, you see that it's not even, like, you really see it. In the first one, she sees Tommy die, but you don't get that that's the real because she was just ready to just walk out. She was just walking. She was just leaving. And then she sees Tommy die. And that's when the snap happens for her. You see it. You see that was the straw that broke this girl's back. And rightfully so. This is the person who has shown her
so much kindness.
Most kindness. Even in the end, and I think it's good because it shows that it wasn't them laughing. That's not what got her.
Yeah.
What got her was this person's death. The tragedy of that is what spiked her. And I
like that she saw who it was.
She saw who it was. She saw everything. Yes. She
because
knows
there were
exactly what
more
happened.
survivors in this one because
Right.
it was more pointed and
Yep.
directed at who it needed to be directed at, which I like that more than the first one because I was like, God, all these like that's a lot
Yes.
of innocent people to die at
Right.
your prom. Like that sucks. But
Yeah.
she saw who it was and
Right.
then aptly went out like saw the cargo, she saw
Yep.
Chris driving away, and she's like, "Oh, I see
That's
you.
what I'm getting.
I'm gonna come get you."
Yes. I love that Chris is texting Daddy, please come get me. And Billy's like, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, rightfully so. Like, and Billy's right. Like, we dropped this. This is a felony.
Yeah,
So none of your bullshit.
yeah,
Which,
someone
right?
actually died.
Well, no, but even before that, before they drop the blood, he says, this is way worse than what you girls did.
It's assault.
If
It's
we get caught, it is this. Now, listen, the fact that that does not make her pause is the most, like, you just know this girl's just completely untethered from reality.
mm-hmm.
Her desire for vengeance is so great that
I liked that they explored more of her being upset with Sue and how that kind of
yep.
wrecked their friendship. Because
Mm-hmm.
she confronts Sue in the gym before where she's like, "Oh, why didn't you
Yep.
back me up?" And so it's like I've lost prom, like you're supposed to be my best friend.
Right.
So it's like all I've got is this guy. Cause and in this one it was his idea.
Yep.
In the original it was her idea. In this one he's
Yep.
like, "You want to get back at her? This is what we're doing." And it's like she doesn't have anybody anymore. Her whole crew turned on her. Sue turned on her.
Yeah.
So
Thank God we didn't have Noreen in her stupid red
her
hat.
stupid red hat.
This is the best improvement to the movie. No fucking red hat. Thank
and
God.
and then yeah, so
The
she's
electricity is just amazing.
oh, and how she's like
Yeah.
snapping people. Oh, and then sets that one girl on fire. Was that one of the girls?
That was the girl that you see let Chris into.
Got it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So yes, so she deserved because she knew
Yeah.
why she knew what she was letting Chris in for.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I
then
mean?
an old boy getting crushed by the benches.
Yes, so that was the kid who switched
The
the
votes.
ballots.
Yeah.
Yes. Um yes, once again, much more targeted, which I liked, and I thought that the targeted kills were very good.
Yeah.
Um
Agreed. And then her
so many
floating
more
off the
kids.
stage. I was like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
that's way
Yeah.
more intense for her to float off the stage like that."
Well, once again, 2013 special effects.
Yeah.
Much more we can do. We can break a whole road with just
Oh,
nine in 2013,
that
and
was a lot.
the way she kills Chris is just
Oh my
fantastic.
god. Oh my god.
The
The
fact
so
that she looks at her while her face is just in
it's
that
stuck
glass.
in a windshield. I was like, I've never seen
Stop
all
it.
the horror movies I've seen, never seen a face stuck in a windshield.
And she says nothing.
Yeah.
Boss move. That's a
And
mic
that's
drop move.
and for me, that's the death that I wanted in the original version. That's what I was saying last week. I was like, I want them to know who killed them, why, and why they're like they
Yes.
need to know what's going on exactly. Because with the in
Yes.
the original, she just kind of makes they don't really know that it's her. Like they're
Right.
hysterical. She turns
Right.
around and she flips the car and then they're dead. And it's like, well,
Right.
they didn't know what happened. And
Right.
this one, it's like they know it's Carrie. They drove away. They got forced to turn around. They see it's Carrie. They're even trying to run her over.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, run her over. Get to her and
Kill her, Billy, kill her.
yeah.
You saw that gymnasium and
And
you
you
think this is a good
that's a good
idea.
idea. Okay.
So untethered from any
Yeah.
spark of reality. It's
And then
unreal.
just the way she stops the car and it hit a brick wall.
Mm-hmm.
And then having her hold the car,
Yeah.
spinning the wheels, like that's the comeuppance that I wanted in the original.
Yes. So poor Carrie gets home, kind of is starting to reconcile with what
she's
she
done.
has done.
By the way, if you're covered in blood, don't take a bath. you should shower. Because she was soaking in the blood. And I was like, well, you want to get in the shower and have it wash down the drain.
She might not have had the energy to stand any longer. I
Okay.
don't know if I would have.
That is fair. That
She
is fair.
probably was a little drained, Jen. And then
That's
to
fair.
start praying with your mother and thinking that maybe this woman's fine. You kneel with her, you're hugging her. You think you're going to get a little something from this woman. And then, boom, knife in the
literally knifed in the back.
Literally. And then, same murder scene. But she immediately is like, "Oh my god," and tries to save her.
Oh, but that scene when the mom's over her and she stops her from stabbing her with the telekinesis, and then she's like holding her hands and she's like, "I'm sorry," and I love the scene of all the sharp things.
Yep.
Coming at her. I was like, "Oh, she is not gonna be in a good spot in a minute," and she's still like apologetic because it's still her mom, so it's not like she's disconnected from this crazy woman. It's like, no, it's my mom, but I'm trying to protect myself.
Right.
Sends her flying. All the ironically all her tailoring tools just
Yep.
All in the body.
All in the body. And then for some reason Sue Snell thinks she should walk in on that.
Yeah, I don't.
No.
I wouldn't have. I would have let that.
And poor Carrie's like, you turned me into this. I did not want to be this. Like, and she's like, please don't hurt me. And she's like, and you can see Carrie's like, I've been hurt my entire life. You people literally brought me to murdering my own mother.
Yeah. Like, I knew Sue was pregnant when she throw up. I was like, oh, yeah, because they did the sex scene, and then it's like they always do that to show, and then she was pregnant, which I thought that was a unnecessary addition. It didn't add anything to the story. Like, I don't understand why they went in that direction, but whatever. Yeah, and she's like, it's a girl, and then she gently tosses her outside. And then they were able to do the boulders in this one because obviously we have the effects for it. Back in the 70s, they wanted to do that and they couldn't. They said they tried it.
Watch the extended cut.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. If you saw that, you watched the extended cut.
Oh, I just
watched it. So they cut it in the theatrical
version. What happens in the theatrical version?
They just don't show that.
Oh. Interesting.
Overall thoughts?
I actually think it was a very good remake. I think they addressed things that they missed in the original. I think that they fleshed out more story that was missing from the original.
I do.
I appreciate the more targeted killing. Like I like that she knew what was going on and who did it. There wasn't that she thought everyone was against her. Like she did kind of have that, but it wasn't to the extent of the first one where she just thought everyone was laughing at her. It was like she knew that this was at least started, even if everybody laughed, she knew who started it and what happened. I like the comeuppance of Chris and Billy. Mm-hmm. So overall, especially for a remake, I thought it was very well done.
But can we just talk? She knocked out that dress in one day.
Yeah.
I just realized that.
Well, it's Chloe Moretz. She didn't have to put a lot of fabric together.
True. I mean, but she did a flawless job.
Oh, she did.
I just thought overall very beautifully shot once again. Mm-hmm. I thought Chloe did a great job. Sissy Spacek is no small shoes to fill.
Yeah.
I don't think she was better, but I don't think she was glaringly worse. I do think that Sissy was a little better at being awkward. Mm-hmm. Chloe, once again, so much more beautiful. And once again, not to say that Sissy isn't. I really think it comes down to the hair texture. Yeah. Sissy Spacek's hair texture, when you do nothing to it, falls worse than Chloe's.
Yeah.
which makes it look worse. Chloe looked like she had just a non-blown out full head of very clean hair,
Yeah.
whereas poor Sissy, because she has the texture of hair that needs more stuff done to it,
Yeah.
it can look worse quicker. That seems to be visually the only difference between the two of them. They
Yeah.
were face wise both stunning, body wise both stunning. It seems to just be the hair.
Yeah.
Um, and Sissy Spacek's hair, just because she has a slightly thinner hair texture, it hung more, which is the point, and thus gave it more of a traditional unpopular girls hanging hair. It had that's like kind of what you think of, right? Like when you think about the nerdy girl with the acne, it's like the hair with no bounce, except it just kind of hangs. They were
Yeah.
just able to get there better with Sissy's hair texture, and that's
Mhm.
is the only difference as far as looks. Both of them were too beautiful to be Carrie, but both did an amazing job being Carrie. And I would say that I went and I read like a couple of reviews about the movie, and everybody agreed. Both Sissy and Chloe, both too beautiful to be Carrie, but
But
both did a
that's
good job.
and that's Hollywood. Like they're not
Right,
they want everyone to
exactly.
be beautiful even when they're supposed to be ugly, quote unquote.
Right, yeah.
Um
That's like Rachel Lee Cook, and she's all that. Oh,
yeah. Oh, she has glasses on. She's
we're,
nerdy.
yeah. Oh, okay. We're not wearing overalls. Fantastic. Like, get the f out of here. She was a
Yeah.
supermodel before the glasses came off. This is not a hard girl to change.
Right, right.
Um,
But I like that again, I like a remake that they stuck closely to the original enough that it's the same movie, but they added things
that were necessary.
that
I love that we see her practicing.
mhm.
I love that we see her coming into her powers before the prom.
Right.
Because really, the only thing we see about that is her. Interestingly, by the way, the young boy's name is also Tommy. It's
Oh,
a different Tommy, not Tommy
really?
Claus,
Hmm.
but it's also Tommy, and
Yeah.
she flips him.
And I like the volleyball scene in the beginning.
Yeah,
And you see she has that moment where she thinks she's a part of the group and like
yeah,
she's laughing, thinking, "Oh yay, I've made a joke and everyone's kind of on my
yeah.
side." And then Chris, of course,
Right, has to
has
ruin it.
has to ruin it. So there's some key moments because we didn't have that in the first. The first one they just all hated her right off the bat,
Right,
and
and you didn't really know why.
mhm. So yeah, I thought this was very well done. I liked it.
And I also thought this was more well done because the girls are able to see what kind of blood it is. Like they say, oh, it's period blood. Like they, at first they try to just hand her a tampon, and then when that doesn't go, then they kind of escalate, which I think
Yeah, because she says it. She's like, plug it up, like she would say to anyone, like you would
like
say to a
plug it
friend,
up, like
plug
just
it
do
up.
it,
Yeah.
like take care of it, and then I think they get you can see like when she doesn't know what to do is when it escalates, and
Yeah.
but once again, like you and I said, even it's that level of if she's in that level of pain. I liked in this movie. She's in that level of pain once again. And what I also like in this movie is it's a much shorter time frame before the teacher gets there.
Mhm. Yeah.
Much shorter. It's maybe 30 seconds, which is enough to do damage. But in the original,
It goes so
it's like a full
long.
minute and 30 seconds before the teacher sees what's happening and gets there. So in this one, you can already see that Sue is like, wait, something's not right. Like she's already processing. Like she got
Yeah.
caught up in the mob for 1 second and now she's processing. The fact that in the original we get to a full minute and 30 and Sue still
Yeah.
hasn't processed that something's wrong. Like I think in this one you could see like Sue, if the teacher hadn't come, we were one just based on her mannerisms, her
Mhm.
face, we were 1 minute away from Sue
Right.
going to get help if the teacher hadn't come. And I like that. I like
Mhm.
that kind of makes at least Sue and some of the other girls, not Chris, because Chris still goes with it, puts that Chris and that other one, they put the video up, etc. But at least Sue is redeemable.
Can we go back to that freaking...
Yes, go for it. I know you
I cringed. I was like, oh my God. Because I thought the whole time, I was like, well, it's interesting that she posted the video, but no one in school, like, they didn't make it a thing where people were making fun of her in the school. It was like, kind of nobody saw it. Right. It was kind of shut down. Yeah, it was shut down pretty quickly. And then...
Well, my thought process of that probably was that the teacher saw it and the school board called whatever site it was on and had it immediately removed. Yeah. But it's not said, but
I mean, it had, I don't think, that wouldn't fly for very long. Like, somebody would report that. It would get, even if it wasn't the school board, someone would see that and say, that's got to be taken down.
Listen, Jen ends up in Facebook jail so often because she keeps cursing out
movies,
group chats, movies, and she keeps, I called you a bitch. I almost ended up in jail. I was like, bitch, you better give me that information before anybody else. Yeah, she's one of my best friends. Of course I'm going to call her bitch. It was funny. I got called. It was so funny. I had to go have a conversation with another business owner in town. I never yelled at this woman, but I'm part Italian. And if you haven't heard the stereotypes, we are people that enjoy talking with our hands. You can't hear me on the video, but you see me gesturing. A woman is narrating this video. We got it flagged by Facebook. They took it off for violating terms of service. She says I called her a bitch. I wanted to write miss. There's no way I called that woman a bitch. I saved that word for people I actually like.
So, I don't call women I don't know that word.
Right.
It's rude.
It's actually a term of endearment where so no, I did not. Right? I called her uninformed. I told her that there was clearly a misconnect happening somewhere, and just because something says something on Google does not make it true. I said those things.
Never called her a bitch.
Never called her a bitch. There was, for me, with the conversation I was having, there was absolute, like, all jokes.
No, like, and you don't seem like the kind of person, even for as long as I've known you, I don't see you.
I believe when you are having a disagreement with somebody, if you take the high road, you will win.
You come off as, like, the high road. Because going to that level, any kind of name calling, if I'm actually angry at you, I'm not going to call you a name. Like, I call characters in TV names. I call characters in movies names.
We're having fun.
Yeah.
Just for fun times.
For sure. But just having an argument with another human being. Also, I don't like the idea of calling someone, like, no matter how angry I am, name calling is just, ugh.
No. It's not
my thing.
Yeah.
But so they dropped the blood on her, and I was like, we know that's coming. And then you see her hit the button, and they put the video in the gym, and it's like, God, if no one saw it, they're seeing it now. And it just added the second level of just, I texted you, I was like, I cannot. And I wasn't saying like it was bad. I was just like, oh my God, I can't. They just showed the video. Like, that's another, and that actually helps to see why she would tip that far, like, to have that shown as well as having it. Because if it was just a pig's blood, it'd be like, oh, that sucks. But to have that and on top of the video and Tommy dying is just, it's a lot that would send you absolutely over the edge.
Yeah. So how many heels we giving this?
Out of 10, we're going up to 10 now, remember. I would say 8 or 9. 8 or 9.
Yeah, it's high for me. I as well give it an 8.5.
Yeah.
Out of 10.
For a remake, I would give it an absolute 10. I always have like levels. Right. As a movie as a whole, 8.5.
One of the better remakes that we have done. There are a few. I think the It remake is also high up there.
But this was a fantastic remake because I love, like I
Yeah, that's
said.
gonna be like, we're gonna have to break that down to like
Oh,
four.
are you talking about the It? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'll be like 4
that's
parts. That'll be a whole ass month.
17
That'll
hours.
say all of October.
Yeah,
Um,
it's all about it.
but I love remakes that, like I said, just address things that were kind of lacking in the original, yet they stuck very close to the story, even
Yeah,
down to her telling Carrie, "You're beautiful,"
right.
like, and trying to to get her to see the positive, even though she's skeptical herself, and she's like, "Well, he." I love how she handles that, and not just telling her, "Oh yeah, they're trying to trick you," but
Mhm.
she's like, "No, he could be genuine, even though she doesn't believe it herself." I like that.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. Um,
So, and so you said 8.5 for you too.
yeah, I think having a woman director
I
actually added something. I would have loved to have seen what I would have loved to have seen Kimberly's vision in 1970 with
right.
the original cast. I think
I was gonna say I think women don't get enough. Like, we're so focused on other kinds of directing. Like, this was a very good. She
right,
did a very good job for a Stephen King remake
right.
of a classic.
But also, this is what I would say when people tell me that people don't want to watch women directed things, I would say you're absolutely wrong.
Hmm?
Seeing something that Kimberly Pierce has directed will encourage me to see other things that she directs. I
Right.
thought it was very well done. There are other female directed things that I'm sorry, I just don't think were well done. And I gotta tell you, there are a ton of men directed things that I don't
Right.
think were well
That's
done,
the,
and I won't watch them again
it's
either.
like, if you're gonna be more represented, you're gonna have more chances of
Right,
not being liked because there's more
right.
out there, so there's more the
And
chances of not being liked are
there are
higher.
so many men directors
And
that
except
are
that I don't want to watch
right. Listen, like
Bob
people
Zombie.
say to me, they're like, you don't read women authors. That's often something that's people criticize me about. I go, no, I love Agatha Christie. I loved the woman who wrote The Hunger Games.
Yeah.
You find me more female authors like that. On I say and there are some good horror female authors that I'm finding and being exposed to. Unfortunately, a lot of females don't write the genre I like. What
Exactly.
I'm supposed to sit here and read a romance novel
Right.
that I'm struggling to get through
Hmm.
because that's the genre. And I
It's
listen, if that's the genre you want to write, that is fine. That has worth to other people, just not
not
to
me.
me.
You're right.
Now, I have to tell you, I have written some great true time documentaries and biographies written by women that I thought were very well done. Because those are also genres I like.
Right.
I'm fine to enjoy women doing things in any genre. I support women.
I
I want women to do good, but I'm not going to go outside my enjoyment and watch and
just because it's
just to
female, I
support
have
a
to.
woman. Just
No,
because
that
it's
doesn't.
female, I don't have to. But that being said, I'm actually looking up tonight to see what else Kimberly
Kimberly
Pierce.
Pierce, because I liked what she
I
did.
I liked what she did.
She did act like
Just like I enjoyed what Anthony Muschietti did, hadn't heard about him previous, looked it up.
right,
I
right.
like Stephanie Garber, who wrote the Caraval series. I enjoy a fantasy novel. I'm looking up other things that she has done. You know what I mean? Like, so when women say, "Oh, you should want people who are supporting you, not simply because
I know.
of your gender,
Or if
you
you're anything.
or anything." Like, listen, I love Stephen King. There are novels of his I am critical of.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? You should, when you go into anything, you should want to be lauded, applauded, and criticized all on whatever you place out there. Just like Jen and I.
Yeah.
Please don't
We're like, tell us what we're doing wrong, please.
please. I mean, I'm sure it's a lot. It's
We
funny. I
can't
had
improve if we don't know.
Right. Now, I will say I got some feedback from my 70-year-old uncle who's never watched a horror movie in his entire life, who told me I curse too much. And I told him he's not my intended audience. So, yeah, I know I curse a lot. The explicit ratings right there on Apple Podcasts. So you're warned. And that's all there is to it. By the way, if you're watching horror movies, you probably get down with the cursing. Yeah, it's a mainstay in the, because really, you need a cursing.
I was gonna say you can't not curse
coming at your head.
Exactly, that's what I was gonna say.
Like,
Freddy Krueger's in your dreams. You're not gonna be like, shoot.
Lobbing off your head is not going to make the
Freddy
day.
Krueger in your dreams isn't gonna shoot. Just doesn't do it.
Yeah.
Oh
exactly.
shucks.
Oh shucks. Yeah. Not gonna make.
Yes. Kudos to Kimberly Pierce. This is the first I've heard of her, and it's like, well, we need to get more into these genres,
right?
And you know, then support it. I can support her because she did a horror movie and she did a good job.
Right.
It's not just, oh, it's Kimberly Pierce. She's a female horror director, so everyone should watch it. It's no, she did Carrie. Carrie is a good movie. Watch that movie.
She also, okay. See, I had a feeling there were other things that I had liked from her. She did do Boys Don't Cry, which I love.
Okay.
She did This Film Is Not Yet Rated. Oh, and this one that I had wanted to see, but I haven't yet. This Changes Everything. I knew that there had been things that I had wanted.
Well, kudos to her. I love her take on it. I love, and
that's like a documentary. It's with Meryl Streep, Gina Davis, Tiffany Reese Witherspoon, all of them talking about gender discrimination, as we were just discussing. That's who she is. But I like her voice, and I would watch other things by her. Well, actually, I have. So, and I would continue to. Oh, she did a military one called Stop Loss, which, I mean, yeah, you know what? The next time I just want to fantasize and see a movie with, let me just list the men in this movie. For any women who just want to watch a movie with just the best looking cast: Ryan Phillippe, Channing Tatum, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Timothy Olyphant, Victor Wray, Rob Brown, and Mark Richard.
Yes, please.
Yeah, seriously.
Timothy Olyphant could get it.
Oh my god.
Santa Clarita Diet.
Is in this movie. Just another reason to watch it. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I mean, really, any one of these men could really.
They could all get it.
I
was just, She's the Man was just on TV last night, and I was like, love me some Channing.
What was on TV?
She's the Man.
Oh, yeah.
I love that movie. Hilarious.
It is.
But yes, I definitely like seeing the perspective of this story, especially such a female specifically to your period, like such a movie about a young woman experiencing that and having a male director and then having the female director. It's very interesting to see how differently they tell the story.
Yes.
And he did, the male director did it justice. It wasn't like, out there. It was very respectful to the female experience. It wasn't, it was great.
So next week, guys, Prom Night with the incomparable Jamie Lee Curtis.
JLC.
I mean, so here's what I will say. She was an attractive woman in Halloween, but they were not trying to play that up.
Yeah.
Look at some stills from Prom Night. They are playing up Jamie Lee Curtis's beauty. I am here for it. I am ready for it.
She is still.
Oh,
this
God.
Salt and pepper look she's rocking now. Would that I could look.
I wish I had the bone structure for that haircut.
God.
I don't, but one day maybe. And that's just so everyone knows it's on Tubi for free. You can watch it there for free. Also on Pluto, Peacock, Crackle, Amazon for free. Pretty much you can watch it anywhere for free. Which honestly, it's such a pop. Like, I hear it talked about so much. I'm surprised so many places are offering it for free, but I'm glad they are.
Yeah.
And then after that, we are going to do Prom Night 2008. Um, which, shoot, looks like we're going to have to pay for that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Sometimes I remember Final Destination 5 just happened to come up for
Oh,
free right
yeah,
before
true.
we had to watch it. So,
True. And so that is all. You always know where to reach us. You can reach us at Horror and Heels on any of the platforms. Come on, guys. Jen's in charge of our social media. She wants some things to do. Reach out to her.
please, I would
People
like to
to talk
respond to
to.
things.
She would like, and we're in the process of getting our trivia groups together, and we will let you know more about that. And yeah, that is all for
Woot.
today. And okay, so
Yeah.
thank you once again, always, for listening and supporting. Jen and I, come the end of August, will have been on this journey together for a
For a
year.
year.
It feels like yesterday.
I That's insane. Our 40th episode. This is our 40th episode.
40th. I mean, guys, we are just cranking
Nailing them.
out for you. Just premium content every week for free. I mean, you guys. You guys, if you could like, rate, subscribe, it really
Yeah.
helps us move up in the rankings. And for the people who have already done so, thank you once again
Yes,
for
we
doing that.
appreciate it.
We
Oh,
appreciate it so much.
speaking of, happy birthday to Chris Long, one of our biggest
Oh,
fans. His birthday
happy
was last
birthday, Chris.
Friday. I wish we had known. We would have given him a shout out last week, but
Yeah.
happy birthday to Chris Long, one of the
Yeah.
moderators. He got promoted to moderator of our Shutter Horror Fans group. Great
Yes.
fan, love him.
Does a good job.
Yeah,
Um,
he's awesome. But yes, contact us, talk to us. We want to hear from you.
yeah. And everybody have a safe and happy weekend, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.
Later.